Good morning students, welcome on my YouTube channel Value Education. So today we'll discuss about management and its evolution यानी कि unit 2. So first of all we discuss about its objectives, and after reading this unit you should be able to understand the evolution of management, the foundation of management's thought, and different perspective of management, etc, etc. So we will discuss all the most important topics in easy language so that you can achieve your goal. So first of all, we discuss about its introduction. So its introduction, the evolution of management root back to the contribution of various schools of management thought which emphasize certain philosophies and approaches as best for managing the organization. They are referred to as approaches, theories, and provide various perspective on management. So perspective of management, the empirical or classical perspective. The empirical classical approach to management was proposed in the early part of the 20th century. To some extent, it is accepted and practiced by many managers even today. The exponents of this school of management emphasized the importance of study of the experience of successful managers. They claimed that such a study would provide a better understanding of the most effective way of managing an enterprises. At times, they stressed the need for the study and the analysis of cases. However, critics view that management is not like law to be based on precedents. Management is dynamic, and the situation in which manager take decision vary considerably to the previous experiences. So there are three separate branches of the classical approach are evident. First one is scientific management, second one is administrative theory, and third one is bureaucracy. So we will discuss about scientific management. This perspective grew out of a need to improve manufacturing efficiency through more effective utilization of physical and human resources. This was proposed by F.B. Taylor, and he was father of scientific management. Then he observes that the best management is true science resting upon clearly defined law, role, and principle as a foundation. He spent a greater part of life finding solution to problem, achieving greater efficiency on the soaps, and he proposed this at the backdrop of the industrial revolution. Employer gave a high degree of priority to efficient working method, but in sometime he समटाइम जो एफ बी टेलर्स थे वो फाउंड कि एम्प्लॉयर जो थे वो मतलब जो अपने इक्विपमेंट्स थे, अपने टूल थे, जो उनके इक्विपमेंट थे और टूल्स थे उनको ही मतलब बहानेबाजी बनाते थे कि उनके अच्छे नहीं है, उनका स्टैंडर्ड लो है. तो जैसे कि टेलर ने ऑब्जर्व किया कि वर्कर्स गोट यूज टू इंटेंशनली डिले द प्रोसेस ऑफ कंप्लीटिंग द जॉब and complain about the tools and equipment provided to them of low standard and obsolete. Then Taylor was passionately interested in the efficiency of working methods. He initially realized that the systematic analysis of work would find a solution to all the problems associated with enhancing the efficiency of the working methods. He also realized that this was the only way to address the apprehensions of workers. Taylor thus consolidated his ideas at the Bethlehem Steel Company and conducted some of the most famous experiments to improve labor productivity. He has published his work in an article called The Principle of Scientific Management in 1911. He was the first person to recognize the emphasize the need for adopting a scientific approach to the task of an enterprises. So, element of scientific management referred to the process of applying scientific principle to management related issues. Scientific management methods call for optimizing the way the tasks were performed and the job simplified. so that the workers could be trained to perform specialization sequence of motions in the one best way. After after years of various experiments to determine optimal work methods, Taylor proposed the following four principle of methods. There are four principle of management was given by Taylor and proposed by Taylor. Develop a science for each element of an individual's work. This would mean replacing the role of thumb work method with method based on a scientific study of task. Prior to this, workers used approximation which was derived from their experience and scientifically select, train, teach and develop each worker rather than passively leaving them to train themselves. Prior to this, worker choose their own work and trained themselves as they could. Heartily cooperate with the workers so as to ensure that work is done in accordance with the principle of science that had been developed prior to this management, and workers were in continual conflict. And fourth one is divide work and responsibility almost equally between management and workers. Management would take over all the work for which it is better suited than the workers, which means that the managers would apply the scientific management principle to planning the worker, and the workers actually perform the task. Prior to this, almost all the work and the greater part of responsibility were left to the workers. These principles were implemented in many factories, and the productivity increased 3 to 4 times. Henry Ford applied Taylor's principle in his automobile factory, and even family began to use these principles in their household tasks. Taylor's experiment are there like soldering, time study, and etc. etc. Next one is administrative theory. The French industrialist Henry Fayol was a major contributor to the administrative theory. The other contributors are Mary Parker Follett, Lindell, Urwick Terry, Peter Drucker, Harold Nez, etc., known as the functional or process approach. The administrative theory describes the efforts to define the universal function that a manager perform and the principle that contribute good management practice. They emphasized management function and attempted to generate broad administrative principles that serve as a framework guidelines for the rationalization of organizational activities, including organization structure and relationship. They viewed the job they viewed the job as an antecedent to the worker. Fuel argues that the organizational function from the management point of view. He proposed that all the managers perform five management functions. So these are the five management of functions. First one is planning, organizing, commanding, coordinating, and controlling. He also described the practice of management as distinct from accounting, finance, production, distribution, and other business functions. His contribution also lies in his observation that management was an activity common to all human undertaking in business, government, in a charity organization, and even at home. So he also proposed 14 principle of administration, which he believed would be applied most often in organizational function. They are given below. Just say first one is division of work, uh, how to divide work, and second one is authority and responsibility. Who was give uh, give authority and who was responsible for all the function, all the work, job, and discipline. According to fuel, discipline is obedience, energy, mark of respect, as shown by the behavior of employees in accordance with the employment contract and rules. Then, fourth one is unity of command, and fifth one is unity of command is most important things, and Unity of direction is also most important thing. You know, this principle is concerned with the functioning of the organization in respect of its grouping of activities with the same objective is an organization are grouped together, and they must have one head and one plan, which ensure better coordination among the activities. Subordination of individual interest to general interest, and remuneration of personal, and centralization, scalar chain, and 10th one is order, equity, and stability of tenure, initiative, and last one is Split day corps. So split day corps denotes team spirit and union is strength. It encourages the spirit and devotion that is required to ensure group harmony. Fuel underscores the need for harmonious relations among the people, as it is the best source of strength. Strength, stability, teachers, and reputation depends on the harmonious relation among the employees. Then this is activity 2. Observe any small, medium, large size of organization. See for yourself. uh, then bureaucracy. While Taylor focused on management of workers on the shop floor, Fayol's focus was on general management function in the organization closely related to these ideas. Max Weber, the German sociologist, focused on developing a theory of bureaucratic management that emphasized a theory of authority structure and describing organizational activity as based on authority and relation. He looked at management and organizational behavior from a structural perspective. Weber described an idea type of organization that he called it a bureaucracy. It is characterized by divisional of labor, a clearly defined hierarchy, and detailed rule and regulation, and impersonal relationship. He recognized that this idea bureaucracy does not exist in reality, but rather represented a selective reconstruction of the real world. He meant it to be taken as a basis for theorizing about work and how work could be done in large group. The features of Weber idea bureaucracy are given below. And first one is job specialization. Work is divided into simple, routine, and well-defined specialization tasks. Hierarchy system, then formal selection, then formal rule and regulation, then impersonality, then career orientation. The classical approach thus provide a basic for training manager by identifying the function and skill of manager. Its focus is on the University of Management principle. It provides mechanistic framework that overlooks the human factor in the organization and is based on the concept of rational economic man. In addition, other thinkers who contribute to classical management are Mary Parker Follett and Chester Irwin Bernard. Mary Parker Follett argued that managers and workers should be considered as a group. Follett also proposed the law of situation, which makes a person accept the situation in which an individual is placed and try to work within those boundaries. She also reiterated the concept of coordination as critical in the early stage of the organization to have a strong hold on the control process. On the other hand, uh, Bernard, who published The Function of the Executive, focused on the integration of the individual and the organizational goal. Human relation approach of the or the behavioral approach. The evolution of management thought is considered a logical extension of ideas and experiments that were carried out across organizations, and he experience of management thinkers, consultants in managements. The human relation approach was considered a radical approach, considering their time because of their focus on the psychological and sociological processes that influence employee performance. The human relations school stressed on the utility of human relation practices like leadership, communication, and motivation. According to them, the focus of management must be centered on interpersonal relation and managing involve getting things done through people. For the first time, the people aspects of management was highlighted with a heavy orientation to psychology and social psychology, with stress on satisfying psychological need and understanding the behavior of people. Classical theory have assumed man as an economic being driven by the fear of hunger, and that management and workers do not demonstrate any conflict between them. Thus, works structures and rewards were used as a focal point to suggest various principles and practices based on the number of experiments to improve productivity and effectiveness. For various reasons, the expected efficiency and productivity could not be achieved as expected. However, the applications of scientific principles motivating the workers through rewards, stability of turnover, encouraging initiative and group harmony as advocated by the classical approach have laid solid functions for recognizing the people element in organization. Then Then we will discuss about the system approach. So this approach is an extension of human relation approach and view management as a social system. Influenced by the sociologist, it aims at identifying various social groups with the fundamental belief in the need to solve the biological and physical and social limitations through cooperation. The system approach has proposed a new way of thinking about the organization and the manager. The theory proposed that a system has a number of subsystems which are interdependent and each of which contributes to the unique characteristics of the whole system to achieve a set purpose. For example, a number of components like monitor, keyboard, mouse, CPU in a computer together help us in entering the data information to make a readable article. With the advancement of technology, however, some of the accessories like keyboard, mouse, etc. got inbuilt into the system. For example, tablets, cell phones, etc. were some of the subsystem uh, got inbuilt with an addition of other subsystem. Thus, computer, tablet, cell phones, etc. are equipment which are made up of many parts which are interconnected and interrelated. The absence of one might affect the performance of entire equipment. Similarly, organization is a also social system composed of people, group, and their relationship. The contribution of the social system approach thus stressed on the need for understanding the individual, the group, the relationship, and the influence of the informal organization on the formal organization. Decision theory approach. So, this approach was proposed after the Second World War since managerial function revolves around right decision making. This approach adopt this as its central focus and studied the process of decision making, which includes selecting the right course of action from possible alternatives. It involves the application of sophisticated techniques for solving managerial problem, especially planning and control. Mathematical and quantitative approach. The mathematical approach provide a quantitative basis for decision making, considering management as a system of mathematical models and process. According to this approach, decision making is a logical process and can be expressed in terms of mathematical symbol, formulas, or models. The contribution of this approach relate to a number of sophisticated tools and technique like simulation, linear programming, gaming, etc., etc., which assist managerial decision making and makes it simple even in large organization. Currently, organizations are using big data and data analytic to handle large volume of data. Such tools and techniques help in the data analytic that are being used by organizations for decision making. And contingency approach, uh, this approach emerges from the real life experience of manager who found out that no single approach model worked consistently in every situation. This approach believe that managerial practice and style differ in different situation and contexts. Then theory X and Y. Douglas McGregor, as an American social psychologist, proposed the theory X and theory Y. It is important question. Then summary, self-assessment, and we will discuss about the unit 3 roles of manager. This is the uh, important topic in block 1, roles of manager. We all the management system planning we also read in previous units, so we will discuss about role of manager. So first of all we discuss about its objectives. After reading this unit you should be able to understand that the management process, different role of manager, management skills, level of management, and etc, etc. And structure, you will discuss about its introduction. So management is a process of integrating resources and tasks towards the achievement of stated organization goal. It is often referred to as a process of planning, organizing, staffing, directing, and controlling. Management literature labels them as the function of management. Thus, it involves as a process which is functional and social, as well as it deals with people in organizational context. So, management process. A process is a systematically way of doing things. The management process emphasizes that all managers, regardless of their particular aptitude, skills, engaged in certain interrelated activities to achieve the desired goal. So we will focus and managers are focused on desired goals so that they can achieve their desired goals. Right from the evolution of management thinkers have defined management process in term of the specific function of management. Thus it is a process which is continuous, ongoing, and a systematic way of doing things. And however the managerial role is evidenced in an organization through the strategic, tactical, and operational responsibility that the managers discharge is an organization. Managerial roles. So a classic study of top executives found that they spend their time in performing 10 roles, which are grouped under three categories: interpersonal, informational, and decisional. The study was conducted by Henry Mintzberg and published in the Nature of Managerial Role in 1973. These roles are common to the work of all managers. Figure 1 manager roles provide informations like interpersonal, figurehead, leader, liaison. Second one is process information, informational, monitoring, feedback, interpersonal, figurehead, leader, liaison. Then process information, monitoring, disseminator, spokesperson, informational, feedback, use information, interpreter, disturbance handler, resources allocator, negotiator, and decisional feedback. Then दिस अगर हम बात करें इंटरपर्सनल रोल की, सो द थ्री इंटरपर्सनल रोल प्रोवाइड इंफॉर्मेशन एंड द प्री primarily concerned with interpersonal relationship. The figurehead role allows the manager to represent the organization in all official business as a symbolic head. The manager performs a number of routine duties of legal and social nature, like shift duties. He provide and he manipulates all the men workers so that they can uh, did his job. So manager has many kind of jobs. So supervisor represent the work group to higher management and is responsible for motivating the group along with participating in the hiring, training and related duties as the leader. The manager use the liaison role to gain favor from his subordinates and information. While the supervisor use the same to maintain the routine flow of work, he also use his role to create his own network, external and internal, to maintain a relationship. The information role the information role ensure the information is provided and that the manager has enough information to do his routine work. The role links all the managerial work together. The manager in interpersonal role is placed in a unique position to receive lots of information. Thus the three informational roles are primarily concerned with the informational aspects of managerial role. Receive and collect information in monitoring role, resulting in through understanding of organization and its internal external environment. Since manager monitoring, it is considered the focal point of internal external information. As the spokesperson transmit information to the outsider on the organization policies, action and decisions. Since the information is received, monitored and stored by the manager, disseminates both factual and analytical information, thus serving as the industry expert, and supervisor serve as the unit expert. The decision role. The decision role makes significant use of the information. The unique access to information places the manager in the center of the organizational decision making. There are four decisional roles that the manager perform. The manager initiate the searches for new opportunities and project to initiate change in the organization. In his interministerial role, in the disturbance handling role, the manager deals with the threat to the organization and takes corrective action accordingly. In the resources allocation role, the manager chooses where the organization will spend for its efforts. He takes an active role in providing financial and other resources to the departments, units, people of including approving organizational decision. In the resource allocation front, the manager negotiates on behalf of the organization. In negotiation role, he engages in negotiation with the parties outside the organization as well as inside the organization and is responsible for representing the organization in major negotiation. The top management makes the decision for the organization as a whole, while the supervisor takes decision about the particular work units. Thus the manager play an important role in the organization, and management help in the success of any activity in the organization. All the managers, irrespective of level, perform these roles, with the only difference being the emphasis and focus. Supervisor perform these roles with a focused approach and a short term in outlook. The figurehead role become less significant and disturbance handling and negotiation roles increase in importance for the supervisor, since leadership permits all the activities. The leadership role is among the most important of all the roles across all level of management. Then we'll discuss about management skills. So a manager's job is a complex and considering the functional and the role one has to perform. Hence they need certain skills to perform the functional associated with their job. They key The key skill of the manager are technical skills. So technical skills are those skills which enable an individual to carry out specialized task activities that involve a certain method or process. Managers develop technical skills to perform the activities that are the part of their daily work life. For the performance of such daily activities, a manager should possess a basic education in the related field and gain knowledge pertaining to methods, processes, and procedure which are actually used. Accountants, engineers, computer professionals falls under this category as they possess technical skills required in their specialized field. It is difficult for any manager to ensure smooth functioning on the part of his employee without requisite technical knowledge. Second one is human skill. Human skill relates to those skills which facilitate better coordination among the different people in the organization. And third one is design skill. It is the ability of manager to find out solution to the problem of an organization from time to time. Manager used to these skills when they consider the overall objectives and strategy of the organization, their activities relating to the different unit and their role with external member of the organization. The manager should be able to envisage the problem and should be sufficiently resourceful to solve them in an amicable manner. Then without such skills, it become difficult for manager to put all the units in a single direction towards the accomplishment of the objectives. The design skill are not limited to the troubleshooting function but assume much more importance and includes all those activities which removes the grievance of the employees. The design skill are used with increasing frequency as a manager goes up the career ladder and assume greater responsibility in the organization. And next one is conceptual skills. The manager should have ability to view the organization as integrated system with its various subsystem connected to each other. An organization has a number of verticals which perform a variety of functions. The manager must be able to understand and relate his function with the other function that are carried out in organization using his conceptual skills. Then analytical skills. The analytical skills are equally important for the manager to perform his functions. Logical analysis of the problem situation assume importance in that context of organizational functioning. It is all the more significant in the current context in the view of knowledge and the data that is generated in the management of business across the world. In these days of data exploration, big data, mining, data analytics have assumed significance. Technology has simplified the way the data can be treated and processed, but it becomes incumbent on the manager and interpret and makes sense out of the data that is generated in the organizations. Then management levels in organizational which are small in size, scale, scope, and owner manages all the activities and needs to support from others. For example, a small store or a small consultancy is handled by a founder with a minimal supports. However, with a growth increase in a size of organization, it becomes difficult for single individual to run the business. A need for formal organization and establishment of formal authority structures become a necessity. Management activities are categorized into three levels: top, middle, and lower level. The three levels are organized along hierarchical lines so that each level could be supervised by the immediate level over and above it. The function of each level depend on the size, scale, technology, culture prevailing in the organization. Further, the number of managerial positions at each level differ from organization to organization. The top level management. Top level management, most important question. Top level management is concerned with the organization as a whole and has interaction with the external environment. These interaction mandate the manager works with the individual and outside organization. They are appointed by the governing body of the organization and are usually referred to the chief executive officer, president, chairman, etc. In large organization, they are empowered to take decision pertaining to the organization beside the CEO. The board also appoint the senior vice president, executive director, all of whom form part of the top level management and involved in taking decision which affect the entire organization. They work with the middle level manager in the implementation of organizational strategy and maintain overall control over organizational performance. The role of top level management is to formulate organizational strategy and controlling resources. They are also considered the strategy uh, architects and organizational leaders in their leadership role. They have to create and articulate a broader corporate purpose in which people can identify and to which people uh, enthusiastically commit. The middle level management and the lower level management. Characteristics of a good manager, important question. Management's literature also evidences the characteristics of a good manager. In addition to the skill needed for a effective manager, organizational experience demonstrates a good number of successful manager and not so successful manager across the world. Success or otherwise its attribute to the characteristics or trait that managers demonstrate in their functioning. It is always heard in corporate circle that people leave organization not because of the organization but because of the manager. When it comes to what are those traits that distinguish the good with not so good manager, literature and also experience does not provide a straight jacketed all eco uh, encompassing answer. A number of factors like the type, size, goal, strategy, team, location, along with a host of external factors like the COVID-19 in the current construct play a significant role in the organizational success, which impact the managerial functioning. Successful manager, however, are characterized with the following traits. First one is understand the vision and communicating it. Second one is independent thinking and assuming responsibility. Third one is knowledge, and fourth one is taking the right decision at the right time. And right decision at a right time. And fourth one is demonstrating leadership and motivating the team. Motivation of team is most important thing. And empathy and conflict resolution, emotional balance. Next one is how do manager know whether they are good or not. Manager perform critical function in an organization. Their role thus becomes significant and way they take upon their role assumes much more importance. But how do managers know whether they are doing it right or not? Interviews with managers revealed interesting facts of what they felt about their roles. The interviews revealed the following: Manager 1. So we will discuss about Manager 1. So Manager 1 said ki he was happy uh, when he was promoted, and he walked into his office with a renewed enthusiasm, although he did not know what was in store for him in the job. So मैनेजर वन ने ये कहा, मैनेजर टू का अपना एक्सपीरियंस है, एंड मैनेजर थ्री, सो इसमें दिया नहीं, मैनेजर टू एंड मैनेजर वन का ही कंपैरिजन यहाँ पे दिया हुआ है. द चेंजिंग रोल ऑफ मैनेजर्स इन द करंट context. It is the true today that for various reasons, along with the advance in technology and the tools at their disposal, the employees are aware of their duties and responsibilities and hence can manage their work and their intricate details embedded in it. There is not much for the manager to micromanage. Further, the changed environment from a manufacturing paradigm to a knowledge-driven service economy and the consequent transition from a top-down approach to employee-centered approach call for a changed role of a manager in the current context. There are various perspectives on the role of the manager in the modern uh, contemporary era. Some of them are explained in the following section. The very definition of manager as one who will power and authority to get things done in an organizational context get changed in the changed construct of self-managed employees, and team management is seen more as a process, and that the role of manager as one whose roles in engage everyone to get things done. It must be admitted that the contemporary context demands management as such more than getting things done. With the change in the work style, work design, workplace with technology support, and the employee orientation towards works, the focus thus is seen more on the roles and style of the manager than the function of management, as everyone is involved in the some form of management or the other at their level. It is thus understood that the role of manager relates to the particular application of management and not the entire management as was done in the past, with innovation as the key driver. The knowledge driven economy with the knowledge workers, the managerial role in woven around engaging them to complete their activities without much focus on the detail of their works. Thus, a relook at the role of manager in the changed context highlights four roles of manager according to uh, McCrimmon. Managers have to behave as a investor, customer, coach, and partners, as they share some attribute of each of the actors. Manager as investor: an investor tries to allocate his resources in return for the best outcomes, and manager as a customer: effective management is determined by the customer feedback on the product or service. In a knowledge driven context, employees are self targeted and self managed and hence provide service to the organization, and the manager as internal customers. Next one is manager as a coach. A coach is normally seen in sport guiding the player towards winning matches. Similarly, a manager in the role of coach facilitates, guides, and coordinates the activities of his team towards an achievement of the goal. In the contemporary organizational context, where talented resources with niche skill are scarce, a manager have to essentially manage and retain the talent. In the role of coach, the manager has to weight his options very carefully to retain the talent. Thus, the role of managers is seen more coaching rather than directing the employee. Manager as a partner. Uh, the knowledge workers are understood more as a partner in the process of management. Organization for partnership with external supplier to fulfill many of its requirement. Employees, because of their knowledge, similarly act as internal suppliers of service and partner with the organization in the process of management. Thus, the manager must understand the changed organizational construct and practice the notions of leadership and management as an investor, coaches, partner, and customer for competitive advantage. The next one is the changing role of manager perspective from a manager. Lifelong learning, delegation, create future leader. Sorry, innovation is the key. Proactive attitude, out of box thinking and working. देन समरी, और इसी तरह से हमारी जो ये यूनिट थी ये भी कंप्लीट हो गई है, और आई होप यू अंडरस्टूड ऑल द टॉपिक्स एंड इम्पोर्टेंस ऑफ दिस टॉपिक्स, और थैंक यू वेरी मच.